leviable on goods which are in transit in the same ship, or if goods are in transit from one ship to another. That is possible. That is possible. But it should not enter into, pass through the custom area. From the coastal area, coast area, the port area itself, there is some area, transit area. From there you can change from one ship to another ship. That is possible. That is allowed. Right? Like for example, when you go for any other country, you go to one plane and you deboard and you transit. Same thing. Same. It is same thing. Right? So this is the thing. Basic duty. Now that this I have already discussed. It is under Customs Act 1962, and it varies from 5 to 40% today. 5 to 40%. Few years back it was as high as 150%, but now it is 5 to 40% basic duty, and it can be ad valorem and it can be specific. That we have discussed, so we need not go into that. Basic duty is clear as far as.
But I understand that in today maximum duty is 28%.
28%
maximum total duty.
In certain item it is 40%. Average duty is 7%, 7.5%. Average.
I was not aware because you are saying the basic duty is 40%. It means total duty will be more.
No, 40% in, see, 40% in few items. In general, maximum you will find 28. But there are few items, very few items. So I have given you the very minimum, and that's why the average is around 7-8%. Average. Because this, in fact, it should, actually I have made a mistake. It is not 5, it is 0 actually. Minimum is 0. In many items there is 0, not 5%, sorry. It's 0. 0 to 40%.
So can you make the performer duty and CVD and
it is very simple. See, basic duty has to be paid. No problem. Then in addition there is additional duty. Additional duty is nothing but CVD, which is equivalent to excise duty. Equivalent. It is not excise duty. But it is supposed that it is equal to excise. So if certain item which is manufactured in India has got some excise duty, the same will be the additional duty. Same. And suppose some item become non-excisable suddenly. So by default it should happen that CVD also becomes 0, but it doesn't happen by default. You can always protest. So if it is not happening, then maybe some time gap. Like if excise duty becomes 0, theoretically this also should become 0. Why? It's not. It has nothing to do with excise duty. But why it is so? There are two reasons. One is that the basic purpose of this duty is to offset the excise part, and second is customs and excise is the same department. Customs and excise is the same department. If you are not charging excise duty, same department, how can the same department charge CVD? That is the point. Right? Clear, I think, this part. So, additional duty is very clear, and it is not refundable. It is basic duty and additional duty is refundable only in case of re-export. No other case. But there is another duty, this is called SAD, Special Additional Duty, which is 4%, which is to offset the effect of VAT. But actually speaking, VAT is paid when somebody purchases some item. So it is possible that what you are importing maybe have to be sold, then again VAT will be there. So in such cases, you pay SAD, Special Additional Duty, and then you reclaim that back, giving the declaration that it will be sold to somebody else and VAT will be charged. So you cannot have SAD as well as VAT, you cannot do that, right? But if you are not selling to somebody, then you will not get a refund. So it is very, very simple.
The SAD is also compulsory for all types of import?
All type of import it is compulsory, and it is non-refundable. It is refundable if you are selling it to somebody, because VAT will be charged again in any case.
You can take input credit.
You can take
input credit while paying that SAD?
It's 4%. It is 4%. 4% on what? I'll tell you. 4% of the same, like this. Basic plus additional.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
How we can claim that refund of that VAT once we are selling these goods to Indian customer?
No, you are not getting the refund of VAT. You are getting the refund of SAD.
SAD.
SAD, I'm talking
SAD.
about
SAD, you will get the refund.
How?
You first pay. First you pay.
Okay.
Get the goods
We
cleared.
pay to customer department.
You get the goods cleared.
Cleared.
You will have a receipt of SAD. Then you apply for refund.
Refund.
You have to apply for
By
refund.
producing the domestic bills.
Domestic bills.
By
You
showing the
have-
domestic bill.
Yes.
Yes. That I am selling this item and I am, regular dealer
Before
for this
selling
item.
or after selling?
After selling.
After selling.
Yes.
The entire SAD will be refunded to me.
Yes.
Correct. So SAD will be refunded.
So only there are three heads. Basic plus additional plus special edition.
And then finally, there is a anti-dumping duty. Finally, which is not leviable on all items. It is case-to-case basis. Suppose there is a perception in the customs in general, not for item, in general, that the goods, a particular type of goods coming from China or somebody is being dumped into India. Like for example, in your case, lactose case. Now ma'am says that my price was this, but the average price was 50% higher. Suppose she would have fought, no, it is wrong. What customer would have done? They would have accepted your price, but then they would have levied anti-dumping duty.
Okay.
They would say that Ukraine is dumping the goods. But the problem is they cannot charge anti-dumping duty in one case. They will charge if there are more than several cases, and they have to take a decision that the goods are coming and which are being dumped into India at price which is unfair. Like for example, anti-dumping duty has been normally made on Chinese goods most of the time.
But
No other
But
goods.
in our case, we are paying royalty to Philips.
Royalty to Philips. Okay.
For manufacturing the CDs.
Okay.
For daily number of quantities calculated by our machines. How
Okay.
much of seeds we are calculating. So we have done some internal janky-manky in that machines. So
Okay.
the counting of that CDs will be reduced. per
Okay.
basis.
Okay.
So they'll inform to the government of India. I don't know from which department, custom of India or India, and they levy that anti-dumping duty to Mozambique.
No, anti-dumping duty has nothing to do with that. Anti-dumping duty is very simple duty. If there is a perception a particular item is being dumped into India, and because of which the domestic industry is being affected.
Basically to protect
The domestic industry. That is the only purpose. So it's a very high level thing. It is not applicable to everything. And one more thing. Anti-dumping duty is product specific as well as country specific. If suppose there is anti-dumping duty on toys, it will not be toys of all the world. No. It will be the toys of a particular country. Now what will happen? The moment you put anti-dumping duty, that country will complain to WTO.
There is special notification for that thing.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing. But it is done very fast. Because by the time it is done, a lot of material will come. So it is done very fast. And in the similar tone, that country can file a case against India in WTO that they are unfairly charging anti-dumping duty. So both the parties has to come on a settlement, either out of court or it will become a full-blown case, WTO case. It's a WTO matter. But anti-dumping duty is legal, but on a merit of the case. If you're correctly you are saying how it is possible. See how it is possible. The plastic raw material is 100 rupees. The manufactured toy is 80 rupees. How is it possible? Right? So government of India will say how it is possible. So they will put in anti-dumping duty. Because the raw material itself is 100 rupees. But you are selling at 80 rupees. Right? So in such cases anti-dumping duty will be definitely there. So in your case, because it was a commodity, in commodity also anti-dumping duty is very easy. Because commodity rates are published. Everybody knows what is the rate of lactose. Right? So if they are not your case, there are more cases, they can quickly take a decision and levy a anti-dumping duty. It is possible.
In addition to these two duties, there is a special
Additional duty.
educational cell.
Education cess is there. Yes. That is like in your income tax. When you pay income tax, you have got 2%, 1%, and there is a lending charge also 1%. That is a small amount. That is for all the shipments. That is a common education cess and lending charges. Lending charges are 1% on CIF value. That's okay. I mean, that's like a small thing. I mean, that is there. So in duty there is no rocket science. Basic duty, which can be ad valorem or it can be specific, right? And then you have got the additional duty, which is nothing but your excise duty. You know what is, and you know the logic. Then third is a SAD, special additional duty, which is the reflection of VAT, right? And if VAT is to be charged, obviously it will be refunded. And finally there is anti-dumping duty. Simple.
And sales and education sales.
Education says
point
something plus lending charges, 1%. That is all over the world. There is no country who will not charge education sales. There is no country who will not charge lending charges, right? Even Singapore charges lending charges. Even Dubai charges lending charges. Basically, the Dubai and Singapore is the whole revenue is on lending charges, or they also call it file charges, because their main income is that only. Because the volume is so high, even that 1-2% is a huge money. That's why the personal taxes are very low in Singapore, and in Dubai it is 0. Income tax is 0. Because of this, because they are charging 1 or 2% lending charges, which is they call it file charges, and that amount is so high for such a small country that they don't need any other excise duty or anything.
No taxation.
Yeah. Right. So this is I think there is absolutely no problem as far as the duty calculation is concerned. Very simple thing, basic duty. Again, it is like a very simple thing, ad valorem specific, and then CVD, which is excise duty equivalent, then SAD, which is VAT equivalent, and then finally there may be or may not be anti-dumping duty. That's all. Simple. Very simple. But if you go to countries like US and all, they have got two-column system. Two-column system wherein it is normally basic duty is 1%. Normally, for all the countries 1%. But those countries which are having the MFN status, most favored nation status, those countries which are not having the most favored nation, so they have got two columns. It is country specific. The goods are coming from which country? In most of the items you will find basic duty 1% in USA, 1%. And second column, those countries which are not friendly, which are not having the MFN status, like maybe Libya. Libya is actually banned, but maybe even Iraq, maybe Jordan, or maybe some other countries like which are not having the MFN status. That duty will be, if I'm not wrong, something like I think 20 to 28%, something like that.
Same like India.
Like India, but there are very few countries, very few. So there it is a two-column system. Basic duty is a two-column system. Whether you are in column 1 or column 2 in US. But India is different. Is totally different. Although MFN status is MFN thing is a very, it is applicable to all the countries. India also have a MFN status, but it does not have a two-column system. MFN status is only means. MFN means if a country is not MFN, then certain the best rate may not be there. Best rate may not be there. Although in Indian system there is no best rate. There is no best rate. The rates are fixed. Actually in India MFN status has no meaning actually. Frankly speaking, we are not favoring any country actually. In our system, we have no two-column system. We have only one-column system. So concept of MFN has no meaning for India, right? And that's why we don't discuss. But other countries, MFN matters a lot. The first thing they ask whether you are a MFN country or not. Right?
Currently, duty drawback is applicable or not?
Duty drawback?
Applicable or not?
Where?
Duty
drawback is applicable.
Applicable.
Drawback when you are exporting
Yeah.
the goods.
Yeah.
You are getting that duty drawback.
Drawback
But
can
our product drawback is stop.
stop because, you see, it's all by logic, you know. Like for example, I was telling,
Circular 30 October 2013 का circular उसके according our drawback.
Duty drawback, not stop, maybe DBB.
The duty drawback.
no, they keep on changing.
Yes.
They keep on adding new item, they keep on taking some item out.
Are you getting
Yes.
drawback?
No, we are getting
Someone is getting drawback.
Yes.
You are getting drawback.
Yes.
But on our product due to drawback and we stop.
No, but it does not mean that you cannot claim it. You can claim it from other routes. If you are paying any duty in any inputs, you can claim by other routes. Like for example, DPP.
Because they are taking excise benefit, no? Your product.
There must be some logic.
Yes.
There must be some logic behind it. No, but excise is a different thing.
But there are two rates.
Excise has nothing to do with drawback.
Availing sandwich or not availing sandwich.
Hmm.
You drawbacks with two rates applicable. Availing sandwich, not availing sandwich.
Hmm.
You are taking the benefit of under the availing sandwich.
इसीलिए वो विड्रॉ
हमारा withdrawal.
इसीलिए विड्रॉ क्योंकि
Logic.
अगर आप एक्साइज ड्यूटी में अगर आप बेनिफिट ले रहे हो तो आपको या तो ड्रॉबैक मिलेगा या एक्साइज ड्यूटी का बेनिफिट मिलेगा एक्सपोर्टर के लिए ये चीज है
Not necessary.
है सर
No. See, the system says, unless the drawback is because of excise, because see, I tell you what happens. When you are making a product, if all the products are made in India only, all the raw material, in general, then what you are saying is right. Then what you are saying is right, because the only tax which you have paid is excise.
yes
No other tax you have paid. Yeah, there may be some sale tax,
We are getting drawback.
right?
We are getting.
But suppose
Or also you're taking the
For,
benefit of excess.
for export jobs. If you are exporting something on which you have paid duty as a raw material, so you will get duty back as a duty drawback.
Import duty.
This is the thing, no?
see, it is a very simple thing. What is the basis of drawback?
Yeah.
There can be 2-3 bases, I tell you. One is the raw material which you are using in your items. For suppose I am manufacturing shirt.
Yeah.
Shirt can have bleaching chemicals, it can have buttons, it can have thread, it can have many other things. Now the question is, there are two things. They just list down all the inputs.
Yeah.
Now you cannot import these items duty free. You cannot, I mean, for making shirt, you cannot import. One way is you import duty free in REP license or DPP scheme, whatever.
Yeah.
One way is that, but it is not practical.
Yeah.
So what do? You do buy from the market. So what will go there? If all the items are made in India, the main component will be excise.
Yes.
But if many of the items are imported items which are not made in India. But like for example, buttons are normally imported,
Yeah.
right? So there is no question of excise. The main component is duty. And another thing, those items which are raw material, there may be some item where actually the duty is 0. But there are some items where duty is very high. 10%, 15%, like that. So drawback is based on either excise duty or based on import duties. So depending on what is the basis, and if that basis is gone, drawback will also go.
So, sir, if you imported the buttons and paid the custom duty, so while you will import the shirt, you will export the shirt, you will get back the duty back.
How will you get?
Which you have paid on buttons.
For a 100 rupees shirt,
Yeah.
what will be the value of button? Nothing. You cannot import button. You cannot calculate the duty. It's not possible. It's not, because you are buying from the market. You don't know. So what the government does, it does its own calculations.
But in tariff, two rates are given. Availing sandwich or not availing sandwich. Two rates are defined.
Why it is defined? On case to case basis, right? There can be one case.
Product like this. Product.
Yeah, product wise also. In certain product, one product can be made in 2 ways. One way you are claiming, one way you are not claiming. If you claim, then that is different. So you give a self-declaration.
Yeah.
But if that basis is gone, then why drawback will remain? WTO will ask, why are you giving that drawback if there is no basis? Because all these drawbacks are frequently monitored by WTO, World Trade Organization. You have to send all the list. So WTO will say that this is wrong. You cannot give drawback. This is wrong. Your logic is wrong. So they will cut it out.
But in our case,
Yeah.
suppose we are importing paper, we are importing ink, we
Okay.
are importing plates.
Okay.
3 items we are
Correct.
importing as a raw material.
As a raw material.
Now I got an order for export of books.
Okay.
So I exported 1 lakh books.
Okay.
So whatever paper, duty paid paper I have used on those 1 lakh books or ink or plates, I will calculate it and get a drawback.
No. I'll tell you, you cannot do that. I'll tell you what. You can get drawback.
We will get it.
Drawback you can get. Drawback you can get. Because drawback is already input-output norm is
Yeah.
checked by the government.
Yes.
But you cannot get import duty refund because you don't know how much has been used. You don't know. So you have to first define input-output norms.
Yeah, we are
In
getting
drawback, input-output norm is automatic.
Yeah.
In DPV, input-output norm is automatic unless it is industry rate, right? But in REP license, it is not. REP license will be again based on input-output. So basically input-output. So when input-output norm change, your drawback or DPV will also change. That is what is done by.
You can go for advanced license or you can go for duty drawback.
Advanced license also you can, but advanced license again is based on input-output norms. Somebody has to say that this much is the value of the inputs. Somebody has to say. But that input-output norm is disputable all the time. Which WTO? The dispute angle. See, input-output norm cannot be person-specific. No. You cannot say that this is my input-output norm. No. It has to be industry rate. It is applicable to everybody. Right? So, even if it is applicable to everybody, that has to be logically supported by the facts.